Hey everyone, Greg here. As you may know by now, I'm the co-founder and CEO of TripShock, an online reseller for water sports and tours. For the past 12 years, we've had the pleasure of working with hundreds of operators across the country, and we're looking to grow our community. It's free to sign up, and you only pay when we bring you confirmed bookings. We'll help you reach new customers, fill empty seats, and grow your business like so many have done with us over the years. Head over to partners.tripshock.com to learn more about our program, read testimonials, or speak directly with our supply team. As always, thank you for listening and enjoy the show.
Welcome to the Awkward Watersport Guys podcast. Me, Kevin O'Neill, with my co-host, Greg Fisher, and welcome to Kevin's Corner, where you can always put Kevin in a corner. Kevin's Corner with a K. All right. So, Greg, how you doing, bud?
Good. Doing great.
You sure?
I'm doing just fine. And I hope my topic for what I learned this week is going to resonate. I think you have something more special to share. You won't share it with me yet.
I did. I kept it a secret. I'm sure you saw that Amazon beta testing, Amazon Explore. And
the virtual tours. Yeah, so, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting and it's in the fact that it's just horrifying to me because, so I have a question for you. So do you feel like that the virtual tours, and I'm just going to, for all lack of a better purpose, I'm just call it the virtual tour thing. As I'm not an expert, I haven't done a virtual tour. I'm not going to do a virtual tour. Do you think that this is an emerging trend, or that this is something being done in a vacuum of an industry that has, for lack of a better terms, collapsed?
I think for some activities, it works well. For example, cooking. I think that cooking is an example where you can do this at home. This is something that we do every night. For most destinations, you're not easily going to find a cooking school. There's not one around here.
But I mean like a virtual tour of, like, you know what I mean? Like that Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty.
I absolutely, I get heated up. I hate that.
Yes.
I hate it.
Me too.
I want to go, like, why are we promoting, staying at home and watching someone walk around the Eiffel Tower and show things? I just hate it. It just takes the integrity out of the industry. Like,
yeah.
I'm not going to watch someone on a kayak going around the mangrove. Like, that is just crazy, man.
Can you imagine? All right, so we're on the same page that it's like,
you need to get your butt off your couch and go take a tour and do it. I mean, you can socially distance with a tour like that. It pisses me off, and all they're doing is reinforcing this culture of just sitting on your butt and watching things on your computer or on your phone. I absolutely hate it.
Welcome to Kevin's Corner. When you get into that corner, it's all about vitriol. Like that's what I want to inspire, because I felt the same way. And all on the open here, me and Greg did not talk about this going into this, and I don't even know that we really have talked about virtual tours, and I feel the same way, because, man, it is like I don't see a future in it. And the reason I don't see a future in it, because I think traveling and I think experiences, they're biological and a biological imperative in humans. Like, that's how the agricultural revolution, and I mean, you can make the argument, whatever, and I'm not trying to go off on too much of a tangent here, but like exploring, experimenting, like this is how we've been able to grow as a civilization. There's always going to be that sort of nomadic spirit that's born into us. Now, as far as like when we get there, as far as the technology is concerned, I mean, I don't know. I've been on some of those really crazy like Disney 4D rides where they're like spraying stuff in your face, and they're like, they have these smells, and you're flying through Pandora. Super cool. But if you had like an actual dragon that I could get on and fly through Pandora, I think it would be 50 times more epic. Like, you could put me in a fight jet simulation, but it's never going to take the place of actually being in a fighter jet.
Yeah. Do you remember that movie Surrogates with Bruce Willis? It's maybe about like 10 years old. And basically it's this like dioptic future where you are in a machine that controls a body.
No.
Like on a computer. Yeah. You can Google this movie. But I feel like virtual tours is like, and this is the movie, I literally thought about this movie when I started reading this virtual tour announcement by Amazon. The society has changed. No one actually goes outside anymore. They're in their house and they go to this contraption where they get into it, and it allows them to control a body in the outside world. And that body goes to meetings and just does everything you do.
I love it. I don't trust a future or a world with Bruce Willis with blonde hair. I'm looking at it right now.
I know it's crazy looking at this.
Preposterous.
But that is how I feel about these virtual tours thing. I'm sickened by it, to be honest. Like, I understand for like food tours and not food tours, but cooking classes and stuff that we do at home anyways. I'm okay with that. I think that's actually really, really cool. And it makes like maybe a good date night when you can't leave the house with your kids. But I'm all for the integrity of our business. And I feel like virtual tours, with the notion of them going out and like doing the tour on the streets and showing you things, it's going to hurt our industry. It's going to really just drive us in the opposite direction.
I think people are just trying to clamor right now. Companies are trying to hang on. And I haven't really looked into Amazon Explorer. I clicked on it or whatever, but I've been calling this for the last year. I'm like, man, Amazon is, and I believe Facebook too. And I mean, anything that has search functionality eventually is going to get into a space of being able to, and I mean, YouTube's already there, and I'm sure there's some affiliate opportunities that, I know there's affiliate opportunities that you can go and book stuff through, tutorials, but I think it's going to get more and more that tours and activities segment's going to start branching out, and you're going to be able to book stuff a little bit easier through social media and through Amazon. So I was not surprised to see Amazon Explorer and to see them stepping into their market. I've been calling it. I'm personally excited for it. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I'm excited to like figure out something besides the behemoth that Google has us kind of like all by the throat. Like I'm excited to see what new platforms we can get our products onto and sell on. So
what do you say about the person though that's at home that can't go anywhere? Maybe they're still under lockdown, or they just, there's nothing open up. Are we like being a little too hard on these people?
No, because you can still get out and do stuff. Like, you can go to neighboring states, and you should. Like, you absolutely should. Like, I looked at like the top, because I was looking at going to, because my wife had the week off, and I wanted to go somewhere. And then we just had all sorts of, with this stupid storm that was, well, it's not stupid to the people that it's happening to, but that the storm that, it was forecast to go to Louisiana, Delta. And we were all kind of nervous, wondering if we were going to come here. So I didn't want to plan anything like with a potential storm coming. But I was looking at like the top 10 states or that hadn't imposed any restrictions. But there's really no direction, no matter where you live. Maybe California, but you could get closer out to like California. You could go to like maybe like Wyoming, North Dakota, because I actually was looking into those areas. I mean, everything's a drive-in market if you're not going from like New York to LA. So you can get into the center of the country and find wide open, expansive places to go and do stuff and go experience stuff.
That's right. Yeah.
Even if you're in lockdown, get in your car and take your money elsewhere. In fact, absolutely. If you're listening to this and you're in another state and you're like, hey, my state's in a lockdown, come to Florida. We're like wide open, other than like Walmart, you can come to Florida and you can do whatever you want for the most part. Like, especially North Florida, we're not giving in. So,
well, Kevin, what we learned this week did not disappoint.
Hey, I knew you would love it.
Oh man. All right. Well, one thing that really has just simmered with me, and I think you're going to feel it the same way. Perception is so much stronger than reality these days. One good example is this hurricane coming. So there's hurricanes in the Gulf, and it's literally a week away. We don't know where it's going. We just started getting a slew of refunds. Businesses are closing down. I mean, and obviously preparation is important. But I mean, I have travelers canceling their vacation for next week. There's a hurricane coming. No, the hurricane's going to hit this week. It's going to be gone by then. We're just trying to play it safe. Perception of a hurricane in the Gulf just completely derails people's thought process. And that goes for things like the stock market. Donald Trump can cough and the stock market drops 500 points because they fear he's going to die from COVID. It's amazing how in this world that we live off of perception, and lots of the times there's really nothing to be concerned about. Now, obviously, people in Louisiana, there's a lot to be concerned about, but for a large part of the Gulf, there's not. For me, I start managing my life and my business based on perception now, because reality is no longer a thing. Now, if I see a hurricane coming, we start doing a lot of things different now. Usually I would just, okay, let me just wait and see what happens. Like, no, we're a week out. I know people are going to start canceling and making up things about why they should cancel, and get it in their head that place is going to be damaged for a year and they're not going to come back or whatever, So I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I'll take that into a complete different avenue, and I'm going to bring it back to marketing just because it's my favorite subject. But when we're creating content for Destiny Water Adventures, and I look at some of my competitors' content, like someone will take like a picture of their kiosk. One comes to mind. It's like he bought like a truck, and then he put his business on the side of it, and the truck looks awful. It's got like a flat tire. I always call it the rapist van. I'm like, oh my God, dude, that thing is horrifying. Like, so he takes a picture of that and he puts it on his GMB. He takes a picture of one of his boats, puts it on his GMB, sitting there at the dock, and boom, there you go. There it is. And then come September, 100 days of summer, everybody's a rock star. Come September, October, he's standing around looking at the water, looking at his 5 boats sitting in the slips, doing whatever. Meanwhile, we're sold out. Well, why is that? Well, because when you go to my GMB, you have pictures of a lady sitting on the back of the pontoon boat, staring out at the crystal clear waters at Crab Island. You see pictures of kids jumping off the back of the pontoon boat, splashing in the water, because that's the perception. It's not about you coming and checking in at my place. It's about what you're gonna do when you're out there, the good time that you're gonna have on the water. We want to mold the people's perception. So yeah, I absolutely agree. And we live in a time where perception is just absolutely, man, it's swayed and manipulated so easily because of how close we are to the 24-hour, the news cycle, whatever, anything and everything. It doesn't matter. You click on your phone and the whole world is inside there, but it's being broadcast from outside.
Someone once told me that 99% of what you worry about never comes to fruition. And I totally believe that, and I live my life by that philosophy. It kind of segues into this conversation that whatever might be going on in your life, you really worry a lot about the things that never even happen. I'm
notorious. You had to talk me off the ledge 3 nights ago, man. After our meeting, because I'm terrible about it, and I know what you're saying is true. Absolutely right. And it's just these little thoughts that bubble up.
And a lot of times, like for the hurricane, all it takes is somebody that's coming down here. They're thinking about canceling their trip because a hurricane 500 miles away from their destination that they're going to is going to hit 500 miles away. But it might take a friend or family member to be like, listen, I go to Destin all the time and I never have any problems when it comes to hurricanes that far away. You just need to go. Well, there's not anyone like that in their ear telling them, hey, it's okay to go. That's why we sometimes need each other. Like I talked to you and I said, hey, take a seat. And a lot of travelers don't have that. They're worried. They're watching the news. Only thing that they're getting is a news anchor telling them that the whole Gulf Coast is under severe hurricane warning. And
what's that guy's name, man? The news, Jim Cantori.
Jim Cantori. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That's something we'll always deal with till the end of time. It's like people scared of hurricanes and freaking out about the hurricanes. We'll never be able to win that war, man, because it's just I can't even remember what the conversation was, but I was like, well, turn on my Facebook and it's either COVID or hurricane. So I'm just deleting the thing and looking outside at the water. I'm going out. So I'm going to go for a kayak. I'm going to use this time to go do something fun.
As a company, we've changed our approach to marketing during hurricanes or just in general, like when it came to COVID or red tide last year or the flesh-eating bacteria, is now it's not about what the reality is, but it's what perception of people. They're going to cancel it. There's nothing we can do to really stop it.
But there's people when the hurricane are coming straight at us and do have something to scare. They're booking. They're calling. We got to find those people, man. Like the people that have zero regard for their own lives.
But those people too upset me because, a lot of times we'll look, okay, we'll book them, but we're like 90% sure that the trip's going to get canceled. We're 90% sure. So, but it's funny that they just, hey, I'll go parasailing in 50 mile an hour winds, whatever.
It's my favorite. But I really want to go. And I'm like, but I really don't want you to die.
I just want to shut things down and just wait until things are coast is clear again, so I don't have to even deal with the refund or explanation process. But anyways, perception definitely is greater than reality in a lot of things that we do. Maybe some cases it's not, but that's something I learned this week. And I've been trying to grasp my whole life really, but now it's really coming to a head.
Yeah.
But anyway, hope you enjoyed our what we learned this week, Kevin's Corner segment. And
Greg's tips. We gotta wrap. It's all just Kevin's Corner now from here on out, man. I'm commandeering the what we learned segment. It's getting wrapped into Kevin's Corner. It's a little bit of minutia from me and Greg.
You've been listening to the Awkward Watersport Guys podcast. If you're in the water sport industry, this is the podcast that brings the business perspective to parasailing, jet and ski boat rentals, sailing, snorkeling, and everything else. We hope you've gotten some useful and practical information from this show. Be sure to sign up to our email list at watersportpodcast.com and subscribe in your favorite podcast app. We'll see you next time, and thanks for listening.